Nancy Appraisal. I'm a professional administrator, a management consultant, and a life coach. And on this channel, I bring to you videos on workplace and school administration, management, as well as personal development. And recently, I've started a series of videos on performance management. And today, I'll be looking at the topic tools for performance management. Tools for performance management. By the way, this is the third video in this series, and you may want to check out the other two videos I had done earlier on. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so right away. And remember that you're free to share this video with your contacts and colleagues and friends. And you can also turn on your notification button so that whenever I upload a video, you'll be notified about it. So welcome to today's video. Remember, the topic is tools for effective performance management. Tools for effective performance management. I had already laid an intro in the previous video, and I also went on to a second video. So today we're looking at tools for effective performance management. What are the things that help us to actually go about it? What are the strategies and the tools that we can use to have an effective performance management? Remember what we said earlier, that performance management is not just appraisal or evaluation. We had already laid the foundation for that. So today, let's go on. Tools for effective performance management. All right. So the first tool I'd like us to look at is the key performance indicators. Key performance indicators. And I did say earlier on that key performance indicators are important because they help you to find out when an employee has actually achieved a goal that you have set. So when your key performance indicators are used, you set goals for the employee, of course, with his or her agreement with the manager, and then the employee gets to see, the manager looks out for some things that indicate that this person is actually performing according to the set objectives or the strategic goals set for the organization or the individual. And so that the word indicator means it just indicates. I'll give you an example. But on my last job, I noticed that when I took over the position, I noticed that some parents were not paying fees. I was a school administrator, by the way, and I had heads of schools working with me. And so I was very uncomfortable with the fact that at the end of the term, sometimes we would have fees that had not been paid. And so I set goals for each of the heads of schools in the college, in the elementary school, and also in the preschool, the early years. That I wanted to see 100% fee collection at the end of every term. So what was my key performance indicator there? To check that parents had all paid. So if there was any child whose fees had not been paid by the parent, it was going to tell on the evaluation, because I needed to know why. I needed the heads of school to follow up on the parents to make sure that we had a certain date when all fees must be paid. And believe me, we were able to achieve 100% fee collection, which had never happened in that school, just because I put in the right key performance indicator and set the right goals for the heads of schools. So that's what key performance indicators do for you. They help you to help the employer and the manager to know when they are performing and when they have actually hit those goals. So you must have something that shows that, yes, this has actually been achieved. You may also find out as a manager that there is wastage in your organization, whether it's a school that you lead or whether it's a big corporate organization or just a medium-sized or small one. You may find out that there's wastage. And so you could decide that to set goals for the people who use various resources, that you want to see a reduction in the use of these materials so that they are used effectively and the goals are still achieved, but maybe like a 10% reduction in the cost of this area. Maybe you're using too much paper and you need to reduce cost by 10% of everything that you spend on paper. So everybody in the organization will now have to find ways of managing the paper in the organization. Maybe that will make them creative to start building templates online or doing things digitally instead of electronically, or instead of just doing paper. So there are various ways that you can set goals and have key performance indicators for your organizations. So that's it about key performance indicators. All right, the next one we may want to look at is a performance appraisal. It's also a tool used for performance management. Remember I said earlier that appraisal is not necessarily performance management, but appraisal is a part of it. And it is something that I highly recommend that you have regular appraisals. Apart from the feedback that you give to your line, you as a line manager give to those that you lead, you should also have formal appraisals where you sit down to now go through everything that has been done over a period of time. And if you had a school, I recommend that you have an appraisal every term. That means 3 times in a term. Some people do it twice, but I think the more often it is done, the better, and the more it takes the tension away when it's done just at the end of the school year. If you have appraisal just at the end of maybe a school year or at the end of the lunar calendar year or your organization's calendar year, and then everybody's like, oh, we have an appraisal at the end of the year, and they start hurrying. But if you have it more regularly and there's a lot of feedback and continuous communication between you and as a manager and the people that you lead, it takes the stress, this tension away, and it also makes you provide support while the employee is trying to achieve his or her goals. And in order to have a successful appraisal or evaluation, you must have evaluation templates, which are parameters for which you are actually evaluating or appraising these staff members. And I highly recommend that you prepare templates which address the issues in your organization and the goals that you're trying to achieve. And if you work in a school and you're a school administrator, a manager, a line manager to anyone, or maybe a principal, a vice principal, a head of school, I have painstakingly done a lot of templates to cover that of the senior leadership team, the admin team, the teaching staff who are the teachers, and then support staff, and also the school accountants and boarding house team. And definitely other support staff that you have to deal with, such as the nannies, the cooks, the caterers, the security men, the cleaners. Okay, so all of this can be found on my website, www.nancyekpezu.com. So you may want to visit there after you have watched this video to check out the templates that I have, and they go for just a token for now. They may not be like that for too long. Okay, so that is it about performance appraisal. The next one we'll look at now is management by objective. I've mentioned 2 tools now. I've said the first one is the key performance indicator, and the second one is the performance appraisals. So the third one now I'm going to be discussing is management by objectives. Of course, that already tells you that is just managing people by setting objectives or goals for them and checking that they do this, they achieve this over a period of time. And the period chosen should depend on your organization and what you're trying to achieve. Some people do an annual evaluation. I must tell you that is totally going out of fashion and it is not very nice. In a subsequent video, I'll discuss to you changes which have occurred in evaluation. One of which is tending towards agility performance, and I'll discuss that in depth in another video. Okay, so performance by objective has been used over the years. I remember even my dad as a manager way back then, he always told me this was what he used on his job, even in the civil service way back then when we were young. So it's not a new method at all. It's still effective if used properly. But whatever method you choose, please always look at the new trends and researches that have been done and try to adapt these new researches and findings to the style that you already adopt or the tool that you are currently using. But yes, management by objective is still used in some organizations and it's still effective, except that you may have to take a shift from how it was done before to what currently obtains now in 2020. And then there's the 360 degrees feedback. This is another tool that is used, and it gives more people's opinions and input into the evaluation or performance management. of a particular employee. I'll give you an example. If I'm a school administrator and I have a board of directors that I report to, I have heads of schools reporting to me who are my direct reports, and then they have people under them, and then they have, maybe I have an admin team that I also manage apart from the senior leadership team, and several others, maybe the teachers who are also managed by my heads of schools, and then the suppliers and the contractors and everybody who deals with the organization. So in the 360 degrees feedback, look at this 360, that's the whole, instead of just linear, just you and your line manager getting involved with your evaluation and maybe another concurrent evaluator. This one involves everybody. So as a school administrator, apart from the board evaluating me, my heads of schools will also give their views about how I'm performing and how the goals we have set are being achieved. And then even the teachers also will have a say and say, oh, the school administrator failed in this area or does this area. And then the suppliers will also give their feedback. The students will also give their feedback, as well as the parents. What does this do? It takes away that autonomy of just your line manager assessing you, and it takes away chances of you getting victimized on the job, and gives more people's views and input into your evaluation. So it kind of democratizes the process of the performance management process, and helps to get views from various people and their input, which you ordinarily may not notice if you're just dealing with you and your line manager directly. So that is how it works. And this is very important because you now can bring it into your training and development programs. When you're planning training for the staff, or you're planning the staff development programs, you'll be able to put in the views of all of these people, because it's quite holistic and it helps you to forge the organization forward. So I highly recommend the 360 degrees feedback, but it must be done properly, because if it's in a system that is toxic, you could have people gang up against a particular person and they may all be giving the same view, and you would not know that it was all pre-arranged. So it has to be done in a very professional manner. So if done properly, yes, it's a very good tool to use, and I highly recommend it. But like I said, make sure it is used properly. Okay, the next thing we'll look at now is the reward and recognitions tool, a reward and recognition as a tool. Believe me when I tell you this, everybody loves to be recognized and everybody loves to be rewarded, no matter what they tell you. But the reward does not necessarily have to be monetary all the time. And so when you put in a performance management system in place, please back it up with some form of reward or recognition. I worked in a school where I was sent out of the country, where I reside out of Nigeria for a training, as a reward. And it kind of helped to boost my morale on the job. It made me feel really good to know that the school paid for a really nice hotel out of the country, paid for a really nice international training and sent me there just because they perceived that I was doing really well on the job. I must tell you, that was a really, really good booster for my morale on that job. And then there are also schools that just give a certificate, and it's just to be called out maybe in the end of the assembly or party and given a certificate, and you're told, well done, you've done so well, you've excelled this school year or this year in our organization. It goes a long way to boost staff morale. So yes, use rewards and recognition as a tool in your performance management, because people look forward to it. People love to be told, well done. People love to be given a pat on the back, even if it's just a letter of recommendation that they can use some other time when they move on to another organization. It goes a long way. I remember the PTA where I worked. There was a school where I was a PTA secretary. I was given a letter at the end of the school of my tenure that I had done excellently. And I still have the letter, and I proudly show it anywhere that I go, that I did an excellent job. So yes, such things go a long way to help. So remember, it could be certificates, it could be financial gain, it could be as much as maybe a ticket to just buy to a supermarket to pick a gift voucher. It could be a weekend in a hotel. It could be just any little thing. It could be even a waiver on the child's school fee if it's a school and that employee who has excelled actually has a child in your school. Any little thing to encourage your staff. And sometimes it may not be as financially demanding as you think, and it's not all about money. Sometimes just a little thing, a little peck here, a little there, they all go a long way. So I hope that helps. Okay, so now let's look at personal development plan as a tool in performance management. Oh, this is another one that can help to boost the morale in your organization and to make people work. When you have a personal development plan for the staff, and they can see the gaps in their journey, and it gives them something to look forward to. For example, you could after an evaluation period, a performance management period, you could tell them that, okay, these are areas we need to work on, and then you develop plans for their training, for other things, to develop them professionally and in their personally also. It helps a lot. So if you notice that there's a staff member who is always having issues with other staff members, perhaps has a problem with emotional intelligence, you may decide to put in a training put up a training on emotional intelligence that will be able to boost, their development. And if you notice other areas, skills they need to develop, attitudes they need to form, you can recommend books, you can, mentor them and coach them through the process so that they get to achieve these goals. So the personal development plan could involve coaching, it could involve mentoring, it could involve resources, sharing resources with them. It could also involve bringing in external consultants or coaches to work with the team to help them achieve these goals. Okay, and the last one I'll be looking at, which is the seventh. I told you I had seven tools for you. Seven tools. So the last one we'll be looking at is using performance management software. Well, I'm not here to advertise any particular software, even though I have tried one or two. So I would like you to do your research, find out which one works for you based on your budget and based on the skills and what exactly your system needs. So you may want to get a professional IT person to have a look at that and recommend one for you. I'm not going to recommend that. So you do your research and find out exactly what it is that your organization needs. I hope these tips have been really good. Remember, 7 tools I have shared. 7 tools I have shared for performance management today. We've looked at key performance indicators. We've looked at performance appraisals or evaluations. We've looked at management by objective, 360 degrees feedback. We've also looked at reward and recognition as a tool. We've looked at personal development plan, PDP, and we've looked at using a performance management tools. And I really hope you got value from this video. If you did, please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Remember, you can share this video with your contacts and colleagues and friends. And you can also turn on your notification button so that whenever I upload a video and you are notified about it. And please share and share and share this video. I would really, really appreciate that so that more people get to know about it and we grow together. So that brings me to the end of this video. Remember this video. On this channel, I share videos on workplace and school administration, management, and personal development. And guess what? I look forward to seeing you in the next video where I'll be discussing things that can go wrong in performance management and how you can guard against them. Thank you very much. It's me, Nancy Ekpezu, and it's always a delight to actually share with you always. So bye for now. See you in the next video.